we're starting. Yeah, right now.
Officially gaming.
Officially, we are rolling dice. Okay, last time. Last time on Coffee Time, Chuman, Twig, Makayla, and Pastiche met the God Emperor of Coffee and got their taste buds awakened and put some pep in their step with a bit of a pick-me-up. Each uniquely designed and brewed per the God Emperor's prescription. A welcome respite between the happenings and goings-on. The show wasn't too bad either. Pastiche looked through the crowd, feeling a bit uneasy, and saw a familiar face. None other than their mentor, Vera, the renowned legendary artist. Quietly tailing her and breaking off from the rest of the party, it seemed Vera had changed slightly over the years away. But then it seemed Vera changed forms into a drunken elf into an effort to lose Pastiche's gaze. Very weird. This elf picked themselves up and waited at a picnic table in front of a bakery, muttering about one feather's punctuality. Meanwhile, Xalia had first-hand knowledge of Feather's whereabouts, she had gained entry into like an assisted-only section of the library. The scenario later became clear that Feather had stolen down there unsupervised and was doing something. Breaking the law. Assistants rushed to her aid and were immediately clobbered by something. Feather blamed the books. Xalia, together with F, the head librarian, calmed down the ruckus, and Feather exited on thin ice, chased by Xalia. Makayla, Chuman, and Twig burst through the door of the library at this point in time, and immediately identify Feather traveling at a brisk pace toward them. Seeing Xalia around the corner, Makayla made the quick decision to attempt to ensnare Feather in a web. This sticky, magical nest of spectral interlocking vulture talons holding fast anything in the area as they attempt to clamp and restrain Feather. I need everyone to roll initiative.
There it is.
As... Dun dun dun, the music changes.
Oh, go Twig.
And exchange of views.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, old beginning combat. Alright.
Nice.
So, let's see here. That was... So, Makayla's casting of Web will be considered a surprise round. So, let's start at the top. You guys have group initiative. What would you like to do? Twig, Chuman, Xalia, and Makayla. There are these vulture talons ensorceling Feather, looking ready to hold her fast. You're not sure if they have been able to clamp down on her yet. But actually, you know what? Even though we just talked about it, we're gonna go ahead and make her throw her save.
It's fine.
She failed.
Oh.
Poor Feather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, in like a surprise round, I would have still gone. I would go before her, right? So it's like
She's restrained by the web.
How does it look like the other people in this room are reacting to what's going on?
They're paying attention. The other people in the room, like, they've got their books, their whiteboards.
Are we getting like the look over the eyeball?
Definitely people are examining what's going on with a quizzical look, what's going on. Everybody that can see you is looking at you as you assault as you assault Feather.
Is there a specific direction they're looking towards? Like, are they looking back towards us, or?
I mean, they're looking at everything. Like, there's things going on, and everyone's watching.
Okay, they'll be like, I assure you, the web leave nothing on the books. There should be no residue. Please do not be alarmed. And then gives like a look to Xalia of like, what is happening?
Twig's gonna walk up.
Xalia will kind of just look back and just kind of walk up to Feather and kind of just blow his.
Yeah, Twig's gonna pull up a chair, sit down in it, just look across his legs, look at Feather, and say in her voice, "You got her ass."
I think Chuman will just be down at the bottom of the stairs, just kind of arms crossed, watching it as Feather gets entangled.
Okay. Feather's just gonna kind of like hiss and look around. Let me go. And she's going to use her action to break these cuffs.
You have tried to kill us multiple times. Why would we ever?
Strength check.
Makayla would say out loud.
Uh-oh, she's not good at these. Oh no!
She's gonna roll like a 30 no, this time. Oh no, never mind.
I can break these cuffs.
She can't break those cuffs as these vulture talons snap down on her arms and grapple her in such a way where her movement is much restricted, and she's looking around. Let me go. I haven't done anything to you today. I don't know who you are. Yeah, hey, I'm unknown people are attacking me.
Not like reacting to her to her comments. Okay, they'll just sort of look like go.
There are people looking in your group's direction with quizzical glances.
Yeah. Oh, can't even move that far. This is still technically actually.
Xalia's gonna huddle around the web to the rest of the party.
Just a quick aside. That was the right thing to do. You were chasing her, right? We'll say it's like quietly to Xalia.
Xalia knows.
Okay.
You don't even know why she was chasing Feather. Mostly just Feather, her located doing mischief.
Uh-huh.
But you don't need to know that.
At the end of you two's interaction, she like struggles a bit. She says, "I'm late for class."
Chuman sits down. Think you have at least time to answer some of our questions before your class.
You have no reason to accost me.
We have no reason to trust you. I believe you're doing anything good here. I mean, you are implicit in a crime of kidnapping, extortion, attempted murder, multiple attempted murders.
Besides,
Should I go on?
Besides, each of our encounters has never been pleasant. And why should we...
Might as well.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say out of character. Might as well turn that back around on you.
Why are you really here?
I'm a student. I study here. I'm enrolled. What do you mean, why am I here? Why are you here? Why are you chasing me across the continent? Attacking me every single time? I haven't done anything to you.
You literally have tried to kill all of us.
She has rolled a 5 every time.
You almost killed multiple of us.
Alright.
The simple matter. You've been here for other reasons. It's always that when we're here that you are also around. So...
Xalia is going to minor illusion Feather in a very stereotypical criminal, like black and white striped outfit. Like doing the very stereotypical sneaky walk into the library and going off with books.
So it seems that you've been here for other reasons than being a student. Trouble are you here to cause for us now?
Feather looks at you. I literally don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And the
I guess you'll just have to miss class.
Mean nothing to you. When I say that, does Feather react at all?
Does what mean nothing to you?
The term flames of rebirth.
She just looks at you, fuming and struggling against the web that you have ensorcelled her in. Somebody gets up and moves away from your group.
Yeah, that's fair. Have a nice day. Sorry to interrupt.
More people start moving around.
I mean, we have time. We're not in any rush.
I assume class is not as important if she can't tell us why.
There are...
You're here for something. You're always at a place for something.
Let's see. As more people start maneuvering around, someone moves over to the set of open doors, Xalia, that you came out of, and kind of like peeks in and like does like a beckoning wave with a worried face. And it's at that moment where this very small action in the back kind of briefly, in an instant, makes everyone look in a different direction. Feather finally breaks away from the spectral vulture talons and bolts for the door. She lurches forward. Let's see here. And it seems that she is web difficult terrain. Well, it's out, or is that just entangle?
Probably just entangle. I don't think web is.
No, the web's very difficult terrain. They also lightly obscure the area. That's cool. I didn't know about that part. You also notice that what's her face? Feather's arms, where they're very similar to like Chuman's and Makayla's normally. They also now take on a more avian persuasion, and her hands and fingers now resemble talons, and she is lurching forward, trying to get past you guys. Let's see.
Xalia's gonna minor illusion like a wall right in front of, like appearing right in front of her. So she thinks she's about to crash into something.
Okay. We're gonna roll acrobatics for that, because what she does is, oh wait, how? 5 foot. She attempts to like plant a hand on top of the wall, and then whoops, But in a feat of acrobatic energy, she falls through the wall where there is nothing there, and immediately tucks and rolls and springs forward in a leap. 1, 2, 3.
Chuman's gonna, as Feather is trying to run off, is going to cast Hold Person and attempt to stop Feather, picking it out.
Okay, go ahead. 30, 15.
She has to make a wisdom save.
She will make this wisdom save with 13. She succeeds. As you throw this arcane energy at her, she pulls out a small knife and looks like she slashes in your direction as you're casting the spell, but obviously you're much too far away. When she does this, the knife shatters and she continues running. But she does make her save. 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's not 2. 1, 2. Okay.
I guess at the last minute, is there anything specific that's like that she might be carrying or something like that I can see?
She has.
She's running.
She has her normal. Well, I'd say normal. She has what you remember she does. She has a crossbow on her left side that's just kind of dangling. It's holstered. She has a sheathed kind of like leaf-bladed sword. She has like a number of pockets around her waist. A couple just kind of things dangling. She has her feather cloak that kind of oscillates in different colors. Usually has a gradient from a darker to a lighter color. It is currently purple going into a white. She has a kind of like a messenger bag going across her side, where the bag is going to be at her right side, kind of above the hilt of her Xiphus sword.
If I may make one more action before she's gone.
She is right at the door, leaping out towards it.
Phantasmal force. This door is now on fire.
Oh no!
She thinks the door is on fire.
Rude.
Okay.
And quick time action.
What is Xalia's how does Xalia cast this? It's verbal, somatic, and also material.
I mean, probably just some vague, like, whispering thing that evokes the thing without actually being, like, words. But in particular, given what it's doing, I imagine she's gonna start having, like, phantasmal smoke drift up from her fingers, like parts of her fingers are converting into literal physical reagents and burning.
Let's see here. She is going to make an intelligence saving throw. And since she has interacted with you for quite some time, she's going to sense the magic go around her, realize that you're casting a spell, and she's going to go for her Xiphus, like this leaf-bladed sword, and whirl around. She doesn't know what you're casting, of course, but she knows somebody of your group is casting something, and she makes a diagonal slash from the top right down to her lower right of her form, like from her perspective. And the what you see, Xalia, the image of what your manipulation of the arcane weave was about to take place, is cut in half, then sloughs down. And then immediately after, her leaf blade bursts into several different shards. So she's holding only the hilt. She looks down, sighs, and frustratedly throws it down. And she appears to resist your spell.
Interesting. That's what I've got. Running a bit low on spell slots.
Alright. The way it is Feather has made it to the door. She's turned around to face your party now, and she is moving her hands around, trying to see, like, she's kind of patting herself down, and she's taking steps back towards the door, which is open because nobody closed it. And it is the next round. Xalia has gone, so you guys have Makayla, Chuman, and Twig in group initiative. What would you like to do? She appears weaponless. Her only visible weapon is the crossbow at her side, and she has not attacked you at all. She has only tried to run away. What would you like to do? You seem to have the upper hand. I guess at the top of the round. 3 librarians turn the corner out of this hallway.
They wave at them.
I mean, the moment that Feather would have broken out, I would have stopped concentration on the web, by the way.
It was actually not concentration.
What?
Wait, am I thinking about something else?
It's definitely concentration.
Yeah, it's concentration.
I'm thinking about something else. Alright, sorry about that. Okay. So Twig, Chuman, Makayla, you guys have anything? What would you like to do? As Feather is fleeing from you.
Silly, but I feel like Makayla would just try and like grab her wrist or something. Not necessarily attack, 'cause she hasn't attacked us here in this like a public space, but just try and grapple her effectively. Just grab her arm.
Roll some athletics. And she will contest you because she does not wish to be touched.
Large oof. Athletics -1.
Well?
Yeah, what can you do? Nope.
She could roll lower. Never mind.
You go and grab towards Feather's wrist as she's patting herself down, but then she looks up and sees you approach her on the stairs, and she just takes a step backwards. Nope, leave me alone. I'm late.
Twig's gonna run up a few steps, not like dashing straight at her, just closing the distance, and just say, Feather, we don't have to be enemies. If anything, I think we should be working together. There's something bigger than you or I going after those flames. We could be friends. While he's saying this, he's gonna try to summon the mage hand behind her.
Okay. It is an... Let's see here. Make a persuasion check with I mean, you know it's with disadvantage.
Yeah, Chuman's confused before hearing that from Twig.
Chuman's countenance changes, so yeah. Dang, 2
Oh my
18s!
god, double 18.
Alright.
I was thinking, like, while he's saying that, the mage hand is, like, trying to carefully lift the crossbow from her holster.
Okay, it is an action to... Wait, aren't you a special kind of rogue that lets you bonus action mage hand?
Yes. Let me link it.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Leisure Domain.
So you can
You can command it
action
as a bonus action.
and then action. Oh, the other way around. Okay. So you're trying to take her crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can call him a rogue of sorts.
She looks at you, and for a moment you have her attention, and
Twig's face is the picture of innocence.
but then she kind of like snaps. She's like, whatever. Find me later. If that's even real, you're just trying to keep me here. Find me later, or I'll find you.
Yeah,
And
you tend to do that.
and roll sleight of hand, but roll sleight of hand and then also roll Arcana.
Okay.
The lower of these two will be your, or maybe we'll take the average. That is somehow that's enough. Feather, in her frazzled state and like one-track mind, trying to get away from you, as she turns to the right and runs out the door, and behind her, just hanging in the air, is her crossbow as she exits.
Twig will let it fall to the floor. And then go over and pick it up.
Okay.
Oh, looks like she dropped something.
Yeah, you have in your hand a crossbow. You said you picked it up?
Yes.
Okay. You immediately get a surge of magical energy tingle through your talons and through your wrist up your forearm. This is clearly and obviously highly magical, as there is a quick whisper around you. It's slightly difficult to decipher, but it sounds a little something like it sounds a little something like who should you sworn enemy? What should want me call? Who should want me kill?
Twig will do like a double take. Like, I can tell it's coming from the crossbow, right?
Yeah, it happened the moment that you did it. As an adventurer, you have an innate sense to tell when something you pick up is magical. And you can tell that this is from this crossbow. This crossbow that you picked up, it's interesting. As you pick it up, you can tell kind of like how it's made a little bit. It's fitted with a cartridge that holds crossbow bolts, and it kind of like spins on a repeating mechanism,
Cool.
allowing it to automatically reload after firing until the cartridge itself runs out of ammunition. You don't have any crossbow bolts, but yeah, it's got this kind of like clockwork or steampunky overall look, and you get the sense that in addition to this enhancement, there's something else going on with this contraption. But yeah, go ahead and put in put Feather's crossbow, or like put a regular crossbow in your inventory, then just write Feather's crossbow. Yeah, congratulations, you earned it.
Nice.
Does not have.
Is it like a hand crossbow?
It is a yeah, it's a hand crossbow. So the excitement has momentarily calmed down of Feather careening through the library. Got a little token of the interaction. She has used this crossbow on you before. You have experienced its effects, Makayla especially. You know you have taken one of her worst weapons away from her. That is a victory.
Yep, two of her weapons, yeah.
Yeah, that is, yeah, and also you observed that a couple of her other weapons shattered, but she was able to do something. It looked like she did that voluntarily, but it looks like for now.
Wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, it looks like for now you might have temporarily defanged your your longest standing opponent, adversary.
Frenemy?
Adversary is probably correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
As the many students and other people lurking around this library are still watching you, there's like a little murmur across everyone.
Makayla would just be like, show's over. Go back to your business. Apologize for the interruption. And then I'll walk up to Xalia. Was there... What exactly was Feather doing?
He's gonna repeat the stealing animation.
Was there anyone else who saw it?
He's gonna point directly at us.
Xalia points backwards, and who she points at is a kind of like a shaggy-haired, bespectacled, human-looking person wearing a suit coat. Appears to be walking up towards you with purpose.
She'll do a little minor addition to it and make it like a little version of his face, just for Makayla. No one else can see this. Is also going to be in the same color as Feather, wearing like not the exaggerated coronal colors, but like the same like purple to white fade. Just for Makayla.
She'll give like a quick and subtle nod.
The person walks up, holds their hands out, palms up. I caught the tail end of that, where what can only appear as you bullying one of the students here at Zozo. I pray for an explanation, please. I have had enough excitement for one day. I would like to know what is going on. There are too many coincidences. My name is F. You can call me Effie. I'm the head librarian here.
Well, I suppose that's convenient. Well, how familiar are you with Feather? That, I guess, student that just was running out of here, away from
acknowledge
Well,
I acknowledge that that is her nickname. People that she's close to beg her to call her that. She is a student here at Zozo. I am somewhat familiar with her, yes. I imagine you're going to tell me some outlandish claim or something. That she's running around killing people.
well, she's tried to kill us multiple times.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I literally go into like detail about where we have seen her, what she has been doing, how multiple locations we have been attacked.
Okay. In that case, hang on. Hold off on making on the persuasion check. What do you actually say?
What do I actually say?
Yes.
We first met in an alleyway where Feather nearly killed Twig over there.
Hold on, give me a second. I have to like
I think-
prepare.
I think Twig was unconscious for most of that.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I don't know. I must have been attacked by something really strong.
Yeah.
The side of a building.
Yeah.
The broadside of a barn.
What was their name?
What was their name?
The name
I think
of
while that's happening, Chuman is
their
going to.
like demonstrate.
Yeah, like you guys watch as Makayla kind of like
This shouldn't be in character.
her gaze like turns down for a moment as she's trying to get things straight.
Just because I have a bad memory does not mean Makayla does.
While this is happening, Chuman is going to see about picking up the shattered or the hilt that was Feather had left.
Oh, okay. Make an investigation check. You get the hilt. You have it in your hand. It is like there's like a little shard of the blade kind of still in it where it broke off. The cross piece kind of fans out and up, and it has like little kind of spiky bits on the cross piece. It's kind of ordinary. It's like a leather wrapped handle. Nothing really remarkable about it.
Okay. Would the rest of the shards be, I guess, like littered across the stairs?
Yeah, they would be.
Okay.
You can pick them up. They're made out of this kind of like. I mean, you've seen Feather's blade before. It is indeed the same one that she has assaulted you guys with previously. It's made out of this dark material, kind of like hammered metal. It's definitely in pieces now, and shattered.
For now, Chuman will head back over and would then say, "This is one of the weapons that Feather often carries. She had used it over trying to escape us. Most of the time we have had word I'm looking for. Unfriendly events with Feather. Mostly ones with a fight starting from her.
Well,
Know that Makayla has much more details.
naturally, anyone in Khorzaire carries a weapon, what with wanderers wandering about. You yourselves have weapons, so that in itself is not evidence of your claim. However,
Under the orders of Yevasraka, we were tasked to investigate illegal dealings happening within Hollandis. There, we encountered this woman who, for all we know, for as long as you've known her, referred to herself as Feather. She's made multiple attempts on our live. You could send any information to anyone, any of the Dune Striders in the land, as they can confirm our reports, as well as the head of House Orion himself, Azir. We ended up finding his son taken, kidnapped, and extorted, or used as blackmail, a piece of blackmail for funds for some
The
illegal
head librarian holds up his hand, just
tasks in
please
mines.
hang on.
She just keep going.
He interrupts you. Stop.
Mhm.
He looks around, claps his hands, and his voice kind of slightly raises, it's got a bit of an amplification to it. Back to your studies. He looks around as all the students that were previously just watching, hawking all around you. There's a shuffle around the whole library as everyone goes back to their business, and looks back at you. I do wish to hear all this. Please, come with me. And he waves you towards a little table. Little table in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Next to this large orb that has a swirling of tome pages swirling around it. As everyone buggers off. Please have a seat.
To tell you the truth, we weren't even aware Feather was in the city when we arrived. It's not actually why we are here. We simply saw someone who had tried to kill and steal from us on multiple occasions, and made a judgment call to try and apprehend said criminal. Why we are here in this library specifically, me and specifically, actually we're here to request you for removal of certain magics that seem to be a side effect of some sort happening on me. There's blue skin, as you can see. Have another companion, but it seems they've been lost. They got lost on the way here.
I take it as your first time in Zozo, then?
Correct.
Indeed. Getting lost on your first time is not atypical. That's actually the norm. Sure. Who are you people? May I have your names?
I go as Makayla. This is Twig, Chuman, and it seems you've had an interaction with Xalia.
Xalia does her little wrist break wave.
Indeed. Xalia just helped me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We have a section where it is recommended to only enter when you are assisted by a librarian, because some of our tomes have wild magic running rampant in them, and Xalia just helped me quell a couple of those. You say you have had squabbles with a student from Zozo?
Yes, many places.
That's one word for it.
I find it hard to believe, but I do not disbelieve you. I'm open to discussion. First, perhaps we should take care of your condition. I take it you are uncomfortable being blue.
It's not ideal, no.
But you look so vibrant, he smiles.
Makayla does not smile back. Just kind of scowls at him a little bit.
Twig is like staring a hole in the table.
I see.
It simply gets in the way. As it is now.
I see. Certainly. I will help you on perhaps a request. You maybe saw this request coming. Please don't cause any further commotion inside the library. This is one of my favorite places in my life's work. It would be very discouraging if anything were to happen to it as a result of your continued... I suppose you're here on an investigation as a result of your continued investigation. Please leave the nautical exchange out of it.
Xalia give him a thumbs up.
Sure. As I said,
Yeah.
we were only in this library to request your assistance. That's all.
Alright. Alright. Effie nods, and he will flick his wrist and swirl his palm around and some fingers, and he projects forward a blue circular glyph. In the middle is another glyph, like in the image of an eye with like an elongated eyelash.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's conjuring this, he looks to you. Please hold still. The eye in the glyph closes, and then there is a small bead of kind of like warbling energy that moves towards you. It impacts your collarbone, and there's like a water drop sound effect, like a, and the area around you ripples for a moment, and the blue color all over your body, Makayla, fades away, and you are back to normal. Also, you're thirsty.
The element of water has been drained from your body. That's what the blue was.
Not what I made myself opaque. Oh, I wanted.
What have you done to her?
I didn't do anything, I promise. Makayla disappears.
There we go.
Ah, there she is. Sometimes, depending on how ingrained the magic is, the entity in question has to... it's an optical illusion, you see. They fade and then reappear as the arcane wraps itself around them once again.
Thank you. I apologize for any commotion we've made. For the scene that this has been. I feel we have gotten off on the wrong foot.
That'll be $50. Sorry, he doesn't say that. I had to. Perhaps. I would say it is fortunate that Xalia appears to claim you as part of her group, or I might be...
Xalia grows a second thumbs up.
Or I might be quite put out. So, let me tell you what I know about this person, Feather. Her name is Aelins, Jarrett Aelins. She is a student here. She unfortunately is a bit of a lost spirit. She recently had a change of major following a sort of bullying incident that I and Professor Monaco had to step in on, one of my co-workers here.
Was she bullied, or was she doing the bullying?
She was the victim, unfortunately. Some classmates saw fit to tear up a bunch of her stuff, and also coat her in what can only be described as pudding. The snack mages, for some reason, thought that it would be very funny to get a hold of the elixir group, and well, the details don't matter. We'll leave it to your imagination, I'm sure. So we had to get involved, and she transferred out of that circle, and she's become since more aggressive after changing her major, and seems to be on a magic applied and self-defense course. I worry for her, but it's out of my hands. She seems to acclimate more towards Professor Monaco as a confidant instead of myself. I'm not offended. That's really all I know. Based on what you're telling me, that you met her underneath Baskar, doing some excavation, and it sounds like she's... Well, I hope not, but it sounds like she's fallen into the wrong crowd.
If they label minor illusion, at least her memory of the note from the mine incident of saying, hey, we need to get this stuff back to Professor Monaco.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Right? You're presenting this to Effie?
Yeah, she's just like, hey, I remembered the thing that happened.
Okay, yeah, persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh, yeah, 9.
The head librarian looks over your magical image. He just adjusts his glasses. It's like, meet outside. What's this? Is this...
This was a letter we found back in Baskar.
I'm sure you have, but do you have the actual letter? This is an illusion, and your case pales in comparison, and is difficult to believe after all, if you do not have the actual letter.
Layla just kind of shrugs and just taps the side of her head.
Alright. Well, take to heart, I am not discarding your position. I am merely explaining to you what anyone with any actual authority might say. So, let me get this straight. So, Jarrett is involved in something that you're sure she is assaulting or otherwise harming many people to achieve some sort of goal alongside Professor Monaco, if your letter is to be taken into consideration.
For
Is that right?
for your consideration and for just so you understand a little bit more, we aren't just a random group of vagabonds, brigands. Would also pull out the seal, or not really seal, but like the missive from Lady Khorzaire. We are trusted and backed by even Merchant Queen Khorzaire.
Effie looks at, like, it's like a determined look. Like he focuses on your missive. It has this large little seal on it. Make a persuasion check with normal.
Okay.
With normal.
Normal.
With normal.
24.
That's not bad. All right, go on.
Just. It is difficult to get and retain physical evidence, but this has been, well, an ongoing situation for past months, and we do have support and backing of multiple now, high officials. So please do not take us for random thugs trying to bully a innocent student.
The head librarian inhales. All right.
What was... Do you know what she was doing here when you found her? What was in the room that you found her in that she had triggered her that
Xalia recreates
security system?
her book thief illusion.
There are many books about many topics in the room that Jarrett was in. Quite innumerable topics, honestly. They're all about various things, and the only reason why it is seen as a restricted area is simply because some of the magic, when opened, it is a triggering mechanism, and it can run wild, which is where books can fly around and project their magic into reality instead of the storybooks within.
Well, if
what exactly she was doing, I perhaps know. Perhaps you don't know. She said she was acquiring a book.
Well, is there records of what books should be there and should have been taken out?
Of course, but
Should we be able to find one that from what sounds like, it did not sound like she would have had proper time and gone to the proper channels to take anything.
No, Xalia will shake her head and then minor illusion.
No, not say it like didn't have time to take anything through like legally, like as in like to check out said book she was taking.
Xalia, as you are casting the spell and apparating an image into existence, you have F's attention. What are you doing?
She is minor illusioning. No, she did in fact have a book in her bag.
Yeah.
Like,
I meant to just say like
glowing "There is a book here" sign.
Yeah, just like a little arrow, like a neon sign arrow.
Yeah. Yeah, on a Feather's bag.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, she probably, like, there's no way she, like, checked that out, so it's probably missing. Like, it's not, like, recorded as taken out. So we can find out, implying that we can find what she was looking for.
Indeed, there was a list, but the comings and goings are always marked down. If we were to try to locate something that was purloined without being checked out properly, it would take some time. Something that you will not have access to. Please, forgive me, Makayla. That would be something that I will accomplish.
Let's see.
You were new here, and therefore I imagine you do not have any library cards at all. Simply accessing that information would be impossible for you. Thus, I'll do it. She did mention... roll another persuasion check.
No, a 10.
She did mention that she was getting it for something, not necessarily for her own purposes, something about a lecture going on. I could barely hear her above the din of chaos that all of those books downstairs were causing. There's only a few lectures going on each day at Zozo Academy, so it could be one of those today or one of those tomorrow. That might be a clue. It might not. I am sorry if it is not.
I suppose.
Would you mind telling me quite exactly why you're here? You've danced around the topic many times, and you've evaded it with a vague sense of stressing your importance. I am very curious about it. What your purpose happens to be. Tell me.
Simply just say, we're here on a mission from Lady Zozo.
You can see,
And
you can see Effie's face drop as you start this sentence, and there was like a faint smile on it, and then it just disappears, and you can see like his eyes drop behind his glasses. You can see his cheeks fall down, and then he interrupts you with just a curt and short, "Then be gone. We're done here."
Yeah, I mean, Makayla was getting up and saying, like, apologize for the commotion, and we thank you for your assistance.
Goodbye.
Yeah, Makayla leaves. Makayla was done.
They will wave bye to him.
Makayla was leaving as he was saying that.
I do thank you, Xalia, and I bid you adieu as well. You seem like you might have a bright mind, and he waggles his finger at you. I hope that you consider studying here. But your group is leaving.
Yeah, she'll head out with the gamers.
With the gamers. Alright.
Listen, it's just a default name for a group of people.
As the group exits, you hear a little sigh, and Effie takes his glasses off. He starts cleaning them with a little cloth. He just looks down. Looks like he's processing, taking the information in. As we scoot over to another person that is in Zozo.
Who could it be?
That person's name is Pastiche.
Pastiche is having an experience.
It's true.
Let's see. Pastiche, you are standing invisibly next to an elf. This elf, masculine looking, has like some dirtied clothes. They had like, what's the word? A tankard, but discarded it. They're just sitting here looking extremely bored at this.
Bro, I'm just sitting here.
Looking extremely bored at this table. Outside, kind of like in like the outdoor eating area of a bakery. There's a little parasol shading the table. There's a montage of them changing positions, elbow on the table, leaning against the wall, face down on the table. Them slowly turning into a puddle and sliding down underneath it. And the entire time they're being grumbly. They're wondering aloud where Feather is, what they have to do to get her attention, where supposed to be here 20 minutes ago.
Oh my god, she was so going to class.
You have about 20 minutes left on your invisibility.
Okay.
As you watch this person just be restless. What would you like to do?
Pastiche is going to sort of lean down next to them, try to check out their sword.
Okay.
And or scabbard if it's sheathed.
Okay. It is, so make me an easy investigation check. You're invisible. And they seem still for now. What do we get, a 17?
Oh, it's 17.
Alright, solid, yeah. Invisibly, you get down next to him. You've already rolled a really high stealth check, so you're fine. This rapier is sheathed on their hip. It is just like a standard kind of like basket hilt grip. It appears to be made. The basket looks like it's made out of steel and then plated with some kind of like the grip is plated only, and the basket is just this silver steel color. The blade looks like it's made out of some kind of like blue steel. It gives off this kind of vague bluey glow in the sunlight. In a darker area, it would be more bluey. The sun kind of mutes it.
Okay.
It has like a little red small stone as its pommel. It is not it's not like in a scabbard, but it is kind of down in a protective clasp that keeps it there. Sheathed for a different word. But it doesn't have a scabbard, but it is capped. The point of this rapier is like it's got like this little cap on it so that they don't accidentally poke people while they're walking around.
Okay.
It seems fancy. Well, fancier than normal. It's like a +2 above like like normal. it is above average looking.
After examining it for a while, Pastiche is just gonna lightly tug on their rapier and then back away.
Okay. Naturally. There's a little bit of a tug, and they kind of like look down at their side for a moment, like, and they say, huh? Look down, like they raise their arm a little bit, seeing if they appear to be looking like if they got caught on something.
Uh-huh.
And just readjust themselves. And just take a proper seating. You have caused them to take a posture check, and they're now sitting upright. In the next few seconds, they put their left elbow on the table and put their head in it, tapping on the table. Bop, 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 bop.
Pastiche notes their tapping, takes a claw, and taps the table just slightly out of rhythm with them.
Okay.
I think this counts as evil.
What?
It's very funny, but I think that counts as evil.
Slide me a performance check for funsies.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. They're just kind of like tapping, just drumming their fingers. And it goes... Then Pastiche, you just add another claw tap. They don't seem to notice, actually.
Cool.
Yeah. They don't seem to notice, and they're just drumming. Doesn't interrupt the rhythm or anything like that.
Pastiche is gonna do that for a little while. I don't know, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Get tired of it. And take a seat across from them.
Alright.
And chill for a bit.
Okay. What's your passive perception?
11.
Okay. Alright.
We're all gonna come in. Oh shit, we saw Feather!
At the end, at like the tail end, like you've got in your mind just a ticking clock of how long your visibility goes on.
Occasionally glancing up at the sun.
Seeing the sun's trajectory. At the very tail end, you maybe have like 50 seconds, less than a minute, of your invisibility. You see in your peripheral vision a familiar face. This face is angular. Has a whatchamacallit? Has a cloak on. The face does not. Sorry. Kind of like a chocolate covered hair, not covered, colored, chocolate colored hair. Fierce, determined eyes, and would you know it? Feathers here. She runs up, bounds up the stairs. She appears to be out of breath, as if she's been running the whole time. And she runs up, looks around like she's holding like a satchel, or she's holding the strap of a satchel,
Mhm.
She looks around, and then seeing the only table occupied here, she jogs, skips to the table. She goes next to it, and she says, "Hey, hi, here. Sorry, I got held up."
Pastiche is going to sort of start, like, just get slightly startled as she starts talking. Step up from their seat. Kind of shuffle around behind her.
That's a stealth check. With advantage, because you're invisible.
Yeah. We nail these.
Every time.
Alright. Pastiche, you slowly slip out of the chair that you were occupying across from this elf and manage to sidle away from Feather at the exact moment that she goes to sit down.
Cool.
After introducing herself. There's a scary moment where her bag swings and it almost hits you in the stomach, but you lurch yourself to the side and quickly twist where it does not impact you, and you make it out of there and you take up a different position next to him with seconds on your invisibility.
We're gonna play this real smart. Just kind of duck down and press ourselves against the wall.
Out in the open?
Uh-huh.
Like, you're not hiding behind anything?
I mean...
Like you're plastering yourself like against a wall that faces them? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's just like Metal Gear Solid.
Okay. So what happens is the elf greets, "Oh, hey, Feather. Yeah, I wasn't waiting very long. Don't worry." And Feather says, "Hey, yeah, I got held up. How's it going, Bran? What's with the elf get up?" And the elf, who has been called Bran, smiles and just shrugs. There was someone who seemed to recognize my form I chose today, so I had to make a quick decision. I thought I had seen them from somewhere before, but not sure. Does it bother you? Nah, whatever. Feather says, "Nah, whatever. Look, I got the..." As Feather begins her next sentence, "Pastiche apparates into existence."
An inky mass appears along the wall, fluttering in place, before melting away and revealing a very sneaky snake, lightly obscured by butterflies.
There we go. Feather sees this happen out of the corner of her eye, and she stops mid-sentence. The topic that she was about to relate is gone.
Reduced to atoms.
Her train of thought has crashed and derailed off of a cliff as she looks directly at you, Pastiche. And she stares at you like a little dumbfounded.
The form you chose today, you said. Pastiche will start without really acknowledging Feather. Speaking to the elf.
As the elf turns to see who is talking to them and where Feather's gaze goes, Feather sighs and exasperatedly mutters, I knew... I would see you too.
Two. Then you've already seen the others.
Yeah, Feather says. They tried to beat me up at the library. What are you doing here, Andy?
Well, Pastiche will kind of motion to this elf. Well, they were... You remember your previous form. I knew her well.
The two sitting at the table exchange glances and then look back at you. You what? What do you mean?
If she was who I thought she was, I simply had to know what she was up to. It seems there may have been a slight misunderstanding.
Why are you covered in butterflies?
Pastiche takes a step towards the table, kind of joins them at the table, uninvited. It's a long story. One I don't fully remember myself. Are you two doing alright?
I think they're both afflicted by the confused condition by now.
They hurt themselves in their confusion.
So, this person, this creamy lizard person, reptile, snake, individual, covered in butterflies, with a frog on top of their head,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and a burning, flaming badge over their heart on their chest, joins these two casual students at a casual bakery, holding a casual conversation. After fading in from nothingness, from invisibility, Feather's mouth is open, just like, what? You appear to have lost them, Pastiche.
My friends, you said they tried to beat you up. Were you up to no good? Pastiche just keeps trying to roll with the conversation.
Feather's eyes squint towards you, and you can see your cheekbones kind of go up with like this confusion obviously on display on her countenance. She's like, and she looks at the elf across from her, looks back at you with butterflies flying everywhere. The toad hops off your head and lands on the lands on the table.
Okay, cool.
Also in your head, you hear from the toad, "Reach for the sky." Feather just goes, "What is happening?"
Feather's having the best day of her life.
She looks down and holds her head in her hands. "What is happening?" Why today?
Well, I can see you seem to be struggling, so Pastiche pauses, turns to the elf. What was your name again?
The elf pleasantly answers you. And he goes, "Oh, why I am Vrayan. I'm sorry, I may not be altogether familiar with you. I've only seen you perhaps once or twice before."
Yes, I wouldn't worry about those meetings. No, the name's Andy, and Feather and I are acquaintances of a sort. Pastiche turns to Feather and smiles. Isn't that right?
Feather begins banging her forehead on the picnic table. Just...
Oh no.
Is she gonna drop? You with low HP?
Maybe. The elf looks at Feather, and looks at you, Andy, and is going to roll insight.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, Pastiche, you can see, like, on the elf's, like, forearms and biceps, a couple more muscles kind of like ripple into ripple into sight. We get
Mainly his cousin.
Oh, is that so?
Well, this is certainly not our first meeting.
Feather gets up, just like jolts up, slams her hands on the... oh, I guess they're talons. Slams her talons on the table, and then looks at you, Andy, and just yells out and exclaims, "Who are you? Why are you here? Why does Professor Monaco think that you're helping us? Why can't I do it? Why do I have to be nice to you?"
Pastiche sort of stares in silence for a moment. You have to be nice to me? Perhaps I should return the favor. Would you two like anything?
The elf has no idea what's going on. He says, "Yes, please. I'll take a double choco jumbo muffin, maybe, and a bit of mango juice. If you don't mind, yeah, that'd be great. Feather, what will you have?" And Feather stares hard at you for a moment, Andy. Just
Andy.
wide-eyed, but like not. Her fierce demeanor is gone. She looks exhausted mentally. Is staring at you wide-eyed, and then sits back down. Takes a deep breath, closes her eyes. I want a piece of blueberry pie. That is the only thing that I want right now.
Excellent. I'll be right back with your orders. Pastiche will back away from the table. Start walking away.
Okay.
Huh?
Alright, Pastiche. What's the plan?
We're gonna duck behind the corner
Okay.
and eavesdrop.
Alright. Make a perception check. And also a stealth check.
Sure.
These are opposite ends of the spectrum here.
Huh.
Alright. So you duck behind the corner and you lean in as close as you can get. However, like, there's a bit of a focus on trying to remain hidden. You did tell them that you were going to order them food after all. So trying to maintain a spot where you're very hidden so that way you don't betray their trust? Question mark? As you attempt to eavesdrop on their conversation, you get a couple of quick murmurs back and forth, some snappy, feather-toned quips, and you get a very feather whatever. And you can see peeking around Vrayan shrug and lean back in his chair, and Feather looking exasperated. It's very simple to tell. And you're coming up on the amount of time that somebody might miss you.
Mm-hmm. Around that time, Pastiche is just going to nonchalantly walk back around the corner as they're passing the table. Wrong way. Going.
Okay.
So true.
Yeah, Feather does give you like the scoff, like. And yeah, okay. What are you up to?
We're looking for the front counter.
Okay, it's easy enough to find. You can,
Okay.
you can get into the front counter. There's a little bell as you walk in. I don't have a shopkeeper. I don't have a bakery person. It's easy enough to place your order. They give it to you right away.
Sure.
The slice of blueberry pie is steaming. You can see it resting on this white porcelain plate. Ceramic. And then the double jumbo choco muffin. There's like little bits of chocolate pieces falling off of it onto the plate as well. You have like there's a little saucer for it, and a wide mouth cup for the mango juice. There's a bit of quizzical, there's a quick moment of who is this? What is going on when you walk in? Because you're surrounded in butterflies and also partially on fire. But then but then for some reason they don't seem to dwell on it, and they just go about it. That'll be a silver and a half.
All right. Easy enough. And Pastiche is gonna take that order back to the table.
Okay.
Here you are, as promised.
Rand gleefully accepts the victuals you've provided him, and he smiles over Feather. Oh, he's not so bad, huh? And it's met with some grumbling as Feather like stabs the blueberry pie and like shoves a piece of it in her mouth. She attacks it with
Naturally.
With murder in her actions. Rand speaks to you. You said your name was Andy, yes?
Yes. Well, formally, I guess I'm not a student yet, but I am something of a student of Mr. Monaco.
Well, is that so?
Yes, go on. Tell him, Feather.
You get a little... you get a little, like, whatever between bites. And Feather mutters, he was at Tratosk, and they were drafted into the excavation beneath it with Dimios. They went one way, we went the other. And yeah, that's it. It's not a big deal.
As I said, we are acquaintances.
Oh, also under Bhaskar, that thing you and I did together, Rand. Also under Bhaskar, they helped out with the excavation under there, I guess.
Pastiche is just sort of nodding along.
With the dragon statue that we found. They translated some stuff. Him and his group.
And Feather is no slouch herself. She seems to be keeping up with my party quite well.
They tried to beat me up at the library.
Well, you look alright to me.
Yeah, emphasis on tried. They suck.
Wow.
Please, we weren't trying to beat you up.
As I said, you keep up quite well.
I was getting this book for Professor Monaco. It should be useful. Should be what we need for the thing that we're doing. And she brings out like a big musty tome, just poof, plops it down. The pages of this tome, there's like a little whimsical abstract lick of flame around them. Even though the tome's not moving, the pages don't move. It gives the vague sense that the pages are ruffling, even though the tome's closed and nothing's actually moving. You're smart enough in arcane wiles to understand this.
Mm-hmm. I guess if no one's going to stop him, Pastiche is going to sort of lean in, take a closer look at the tome.
Okay. Doesn't take a perception check to see that it has a big title, and it says Phoenix Fire. The tale of legendary flame and how you can craft magical flames with no prior training. It's got this whole thing as a subtitle. As you begin reading it, Feather reaches towards it and just kind of like spins it a bit with her hand, just on the table.
Uh-huh.
And she puts it back into her satchel. Her messenger bag on the side. So since since I can't do fire, this idiot's made sure of that. Since I can't do fire, this should help me be able to do it, get it back, and that'll be cool. And then finally, I can fly. That's been the goal from the beginning. Yeah. Rand nods and smiles and drinks from his mango juice. It's like, well, your nickname will finally come true after all.
Andy pipes up. Why exactly do you need fire for that?
I don't know. Professor Monaco's just said, hey, we need this. And bring it to him after his lecture.
Does the fire need to come from you, specifically?
I guess. Look, I don't know, okay? Why don't you know if you're supposed to be helping? You look on fire.
Well, yes, I'm not sure that's related, but, Nazev has not clued me into everything, you see, and I have been away for a while.
I guess that's typical then. He hasn't clued us in and everything either. You hear in your head from the frog just a curt, matter-of-fact, you could fire out and hit her right now. She would never expect it. You're having a casual conversation. You can get her friend, too.
Pastiche looks to Bran, looks back to Feather.
Rand...
Snap your fingers.
Rand catches your gaze and he opens his mouth to speak. If that changes what your next thing is gonna be.
No.
Okay.
Pastiche just kind of starts stamping two fingers together. Absent-mindedly.
Okay. Ray mentions... Oh, you mentioned... that I looked like someone you knew? How do you know this person? And he waves his hand in front of his face, and then for a brief moment he's obscured by his hand, and then after, coming out of the wave, he looks like the previous lioness.
Mm-hmm. Please, if you don't know her, I would appreciate it if you didn't do that. She was a former teacher of mine and a close friend.
Rand shrugs and waves his hand back the other way, and he is now a blue person. Just bald, no hair, kind of muscly. Like Popeye-looking forearms and biceps. Void yellow, or not really void, just yellow solid eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any irises or anything like that. His ears are kind of part of his head, but there is a bit of flesh that points back into an angle. And they're just wearing kind of like a poet blouse, like a white poet blouse with a brown vest over it, and just regular pants, just pants and some sandals. They nod at you. Oh, apologies. Didn't mean to offend us. Surely it must be a compliment. She looked like fun to be for a day, and yeah, just walk around having fun.
I see. Well, it's not a problem. Pastiche pauses for a moment, snaps their fingers a little bit harder, sparks a flame, shoots a firebolt off in a random direction.
Okay. Make an attack roll. What you hit
Sure.
depends on the roll. It'll be funny.
Oh,
You win. You tell me what you hit or what happens.
It kind of flies, like, straight over the table they're all sitting at, past some of the plants, singes a few of them, it passes by a building or two and puts itself out in a fountain. If you need any help with that fire thing you're doing, Feather, I'm quite familiar with the arts myself.
Hey, yeah, maybe we don't need this stupid book. She's staring at you. Bran starts looking uncomfortable as the silence continues on.
Another moment passes.
The way Feather's the way Feather's sitting is like she has like one heel on her chair and she's leaning against the railing and the chair back, like this this kind of like bad girl posture. One arm resting across the back of the chair. It would be complete if she had some bubble gum. That's that kind of image.
So, it was nice to meet you, Ryan. And Feather. It's always a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pastiche will sort of back away and bow.
Bran gives you a little wave, but his hand stays up. You, I don't mean to pry, but you said, the lion lady was your teacher? I'm slightly interested in that. Can you tell me? Feather shoots my glance.
Well, if you must know,
I'm an actor, you see. I am a lover of the performance arts. So, if you have further information on her mannerisms and all that kind of thing, I would be happy to know. It would help me with my mimicry. I like knowing a little bit about who I'm turning into.
Before we get into all of that, let's start at the basics. Do you know who she is?
I know her name is Vera, but that's about it.
My, that won't do. She's quite a famous artist, you see. Pastiche will kind of, motion with their finger, create a tiny little easel on the desk.
Poof. There is now an easel on the desk. It causes your conversation partners to kind of I keep saying kinda, I gotta get rid of that habit. It causes your conversation partners to be more alert suddenly. You have their attention.
Pastiche will then pull out a small ink pen and paint a little guy on the easel. Just a little fella.
Performance check. You knew it was coming.
Great at these.
Roll me roll advantage if you want.
Okay.
You have advantage on drawing things.
Well.
Alright. What's your dexterity bonus?
Dex bonus? Let's see, I have 14 dex, so +2.
Okay. That is a... you get a 20 on the roll then.
Okay.
So yeah, it's exactly as what you want or need it to be.
Pastiche is just gonna paint a little lizard fella, like a gecko.
Okay.
And then... close their hands around the easel, open them up, and there will be a small blue gecko. Just like a figure, not a living gecko.
Oh.
On the table. You see, she taught me how to use a special kind of paint, and, well, with the right touch, things you can create can become things, not just images. And, well, she was even better at it than I am, but... again, she's quite famous. You should look into some of her arts. I believe Mr. Monaco himself actually owns a piece of hers. Pastiche just kind of babbles on for a while. Not a particularly focused story. Just has a lot to talk about.
You get a couple, oh, yeah, hey, yeah, neat, oh, neat, cool. that kind of thing to show that they're listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Vrain is Feather does not care. Feather does make a mention, though. Like, she's not paying attention, but she does mention that what's so good about it? Zev can do that too. It's just paint.
Pastiche, of course, takes note of this. Can he? He didn't show me anything like that.
Probably because it's boring.
Pastiche, winces as she says this. Well, why don't you entertain us then?
Feather has this permanent scowl on her face, and she just looks away. Whatever. Bran will pipe up, though. Seemingly much friendlier than... Well, shoot, you know Feather just hates everything. Bran, however, pipes up. Well, you mentioned that she's your teacher. Are you looking for her to have some sort of promotion or whatever? Are you looking to be the lead player on stage? Is that what they do?
Well, I believe I sort of told you this while you took her form, but
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. The laugh is genuine.
she left somewhat suddenly, and I've been looking for her since.
Oh. Well, she's Feather like snaps towards him, and even though Rain was like in the middle of talking, he seems particularly alert to this, and the moment Feather snaps, Rain stops talking and looks at her with this weird look, like oops, like uh-oh, like what did I do? Turn to Feather, and she is looking between the butterflies, trying to lock eyes on you. She sits up, and she stands up, and she says, "I'm gonna offer you a deal, Andy. I think you'll like it."
I'm listening.
She looks at you and seems to be like forming the words in her head. She looks down for a moment and puts her talons together. She's looking around with her eyeballs. Inhales. I know where this lady is. In exchange for you going very far away and never seeing me or anybody else ever again. If you disappear, I will tell you. I need you to fuck off. You will not take this away from me. And she starts moving towards you. I have been working so hard, doing everything Professor Monaco said. You will not take this away from me. If I tell you where Vera is, you need to leave.
Pastiche's countenance is going to change noticeably, and they'll stare deeply into Feather's eyes, trying to get a read on how genuine she's being.
Insight check. Well, that's a natural one. This is a bit jarring.
I think I'm gonna use my inspiration on that one.
Oh, is that so? Okay. A 15. Do you want to use your flame of rebirth too? You want to have some fireworks suddenly go everywhere?
No.
You got some bardic inspiration?
No, I think we're okay.
All right.
I'm
15
okay
is
with
pretty
a
good.
15.
This is jarring. She is always sour, always surly, always a bunch of other S words. And she's always aloof and kind of like whatever, doesn't really care, apathetic. She is directly focused on you, and she's getting all up in your face, all up in your butterflies. She has your frog in her hand. She's looking pretty direct at you. Her eyes are back to fierce. It is a different act of Feather than what you've seen so far. You're not sure what this change in her demeanor means, but it is definitely different, and you've got her attention.
Pastiche will clear their throat. Tell me.
She raises her head a bit. Thrust your frog into your chest. What a sentence. She raises her head, thrusts your frog into your chest until you take it, and she looks at you kind of down her cheekbones. Zev has her. She's in his mansion. He bought her. Or bought her services. She's doing a commission. She doesn't leave. She just paints. The music changes.
Pastiche's eyes narrow a bit. You're serious.
That's where she is.
Pastiche will straighten out, take a step back.
Professor Monaco has a mansion. Bunch of stories tall.
And where exactly is this mansion located?
She points in a direction. It's over there. You know how this place works. Or don't you?
No, I know quite well. Thank you, both of you, for your time. Pastiche will back away slowly, turn, and walk out.
You're calling Feather behind you. Do not take this away from me.
Pastiche will sort of raise a hand as they're leaving. Like a half wave. Peace out.
I'm going to be a bird. I'm going to fly away. And Pastiche walks away. You hear the rustle of utensils as Feather sits back down and goes back attacking your blueberry pie after like a couple seconds. There's some hushed words from Vran or her partner, and you walk away. As you get away from the bakery, there is a bit of there's a bit of tension in the air now.
Yeah, that checks out.
Your frog seems worried. And for realsies time, you know where she is. And yet, no one else seems to... The camels and the raptors carrying merchant packs, they all just go about their day. The balmy weather. And you can see your companions, your party, who have joined you on this journey thus far. You can see them at the end of at the end of a way, at the end of a street, a road. What would you like to do, Pastiche?
I think while Pastiche sort of collects their thoughts, they are going to approach the rest of the group.
Okie dokie. Let's see here. Is Xalia on this map? No, she's not. We're gonna fix that.
I'm up here.
Oh, are you? Oh,
Yeah.
there you are.
She was being a bat.
You were so high.
And she was being a bat.
Alright. Zoop. Zoop. Xalia, Twig, Chuman, Makayla. You can see Pastiche striding up to you after spotting you out of the crowd.
Greetings, Makayla. I see you are no longer blue.
Yes. We found the head librarian. Though we also found Feather fleeing.
Yes, I heard. She says you tried to beat her up.
I wouldn't say it like that.
We
Or if
tried
we
to
wanted-
restrain her and ask her what she was doing.
Yes.
Stealing a book of sorts. Did she
If
tell you what
anything-
that was?
A tome of fire magics, or of something of the sort. Something to do with Phoenix. We had a polite conversation. If you don't mind heading back to the academy briefly, I would still like to get all of this taken care of.
Yes. If you're going back to the library, probably best don't say you are with us.
I see.
I did not leave on the best.
Terms are very
Yeah.
delicate as of now.
Well, it's just I don't think the librarian particularly likes us. Not a huge fan of him myself, so just get the help first. Oh, I believe there was someone else at the academy proper that they said we could request help from if they're still available.
Yes, well, if the library is not a great option, then I suppose we can simply head to the academy. Were you all planning to do anything else?
Xalia does her exaggerated, spine-breaking shrug.
I believe that we mostly just have to wait. I believe that there's much that we can do as of now.
Yeah.
Well, Pastiche sort of pauses, looks away for a moment. If there are no objections.
Outside of the, toad and butterfly, does Pastiche visually look any out of sorts? Like shaken or
Stirred.
Yeah.
I think you might know that they're alert. They're standing up very straight.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Then we can go. Go ahead. Where exactly did you wander off to?
I saw a familiar face. It looked like someone I knew, but I was mistaken.
Huh. Oh, okay. And you just... Where exactly did Feather run off to that you found her? Just happenstance? Cross her path? Or...
Well, the funny thing is, she was actually meeting up with the person I mistook for an acquaintance. And, well, I had been following them, and they met at a bakery, and I just happened to be in the area.
Following them, yes?
Following them, yes. And, we had a chat.
I see. You seem to have fairly amicable chats with Feather. Not that uncommonly. Rather frequently? Well, whenever we see her, really.
You just need to know how to hit the right buttons.
Uh-huh. Well, usually Feather's the one hitting us, actually. So.
I believe there's too many buttons for us to hit to happen.
It helps to have an alternate persona.
Oh, right. Should we be referring to you as Andy here?
Generally, no, but... Well... If we should cross Feather again... Hopefully we do not.
Alright. Alright. Let's get you de-butterflied.
Yes,
Shall we?
please. Pastiche will just sort of start walking with the academy in mind.
Same.
Bailey will kind of drag herself along. She's tired. By which I mean nearly out of self-love.
EP.
Yeah.
Okay. As everyone heads to the lovely Zozo Academy, where you can learn anything and the finest advances of magical technology are made in mind. Move through the sand, dodge a camel. With the students walking around. See a curious person wearing a mask with different colors.
Huh?
They look at you and then quickly look away, and then they scurry off to the other side of their little bench that they have a bunch of gear on. As you head to Zozo Academy, you arrive at Zozo Academy as you turn a corner. We'll say it's this big old thing. What's the plan? You are here. This large university building with many domed spires rising up. Then there's a big one in the center.
Well, I think we're trying to go to the professor that was having a lecture and try and find them
Okay.
to get Pastiche de-butterflied.
Alright. It looks like there were 4 lectures today. By the time you walk in, and like there's a sign saying like today's specials or something like that. It's like a little letter board where you can slide the letters in. Looks like there are 4 lectures today. 3 of them have already ended. So if the professor who can alleviate Pastiche's condition was one of those, may have to do some extra finding. There is the 4th lecture, looks like late in the day, is still ongoing according to the time. It is labeled Magic is Art. Art is Magic.
Oh boy.
Who's the lecturer?
You look
Doesn't say.
beneath it, beneath this heading, and the lecturer is Professor Nazev Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
Wow. Well, that's good. You're a student. He liked you, Andrew.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I'm still wasn't really sure what the relationship between you two was, but it seemed amicable. So
Xalia twists herself into a little mockery of Feather real quick while we're here.
Okay.
And just kind of head tilt at the rest of the group.
Alright, yeah, you guys watch as Xalia normally a mass of esoteric tentacles, eyes, shapes, and colors turns into a facsimile of Jarrett Feather Aelins.
Yeah. I mean, the mouth is goopy and like the skin sticks to each other, but you know, it's Feather.
Pastiche is going to look to Xalia, look at Twig. Twig, you were interested in attending one of these lectures, yes?
Well, sure. Did you have one in mind?
Well, it seems 3 have already ended for the day, but this 4th one, Pastiche will point at the board. It should be happening right now. Pastiche is wearing like an unusually toothy smile,
Huh.
speaking through it a bit.
You seem emotional. After like searching for the word for a couple seconds.
Well, I
I
just the subject seems close to me, and I am familiar with the lecturer, and I just thought, you know, this might be a good one to sit in on.
Of course, I would come with you. Twig will like
Pastiche. Oh, go ahead.
Twig will like follow you a bit, and then
They
just
look
like
on
say,
with.
just like say quietly, "Is everything okay, Pastiche?"
For now, yes.
Is there
Pastiche
something?
will say and sort of just keep shuffling towards the lecture hall.
Hmm. Twig will shrug and follow.
Okay. The halls of this academy are not unlike the libraries. There's these huge whiteboards going down the halls on each side where people are on ladders or other various height increasing devices. Some are on discs that look like they're made out of energy to where they can work on these whiteboards and keep a suitable distance away from everybody. It looks like everyone is doing something here, planning out their latest research topic. You can see people bustling around with books in their hands. Some are carrying very large stacks. You can see a couple groups of people lounging around just in lounge areas where there's a couple sofas, love seats, got their legs propped up over the arm of a chair. There's a number of drinks on a coffee table. As you make your way through the lecture hall, you notice that this is in an area that you are able to traverse. You had heard that there are lecture halls that are carded off instead of cordoned off, where you require a library card to proceed forward. You can see a sign pointing out that direction. As you're moving through this lecture hall, you follow the signs to where you can arrive at the Magic is Art. Art is Magic auditorium. It appears to be, thankfully, not in an area where you need special increased access. It is just a regular door, unassuming, unadorned. There's only a sign next to it on an easel that proclaims this is the Magic is Art, Art is Magic sensation. Little handle on the door. You can hear a presenter muffled behind. You're in a crisp, clean, white hall.
Xalia's gonna open the door.
Boom. Xalia opens the door, eager to learn. And inside, you can see dun, dun, a number of people sitting in rows at desks and chairs and all that kind of stuff. There are many windows letting in the lovely Khorzaire sunlight in. Drapes drawn. There's a couple bookshelves everywhere with books not quite put away yet, falling down everywhere. Someone turns around at the noise of opening the door and watching you shovel in, then just...
Xalia is going to just ignore it, walk up here, and just kick her legs up on the desks.
Xalia immediately assumes
the position.
Assumes the position, the learning position, and sits down, breaks away from your group, and at the far end is a large podium that Professor Nazev Monaco, with his easel next to him, he's got this big PowerPoint presenter behind him. There's a number of tables that have painting supplies, and they're tiered tables too. There's a table and then it kind of folds back to have more table space, and there's more painting supplies on that. It looks like plenty of painting supplies has already been used or messed with. There's some color stains and smears over these tables and kind of bleachers, and you look around at the desks of each student. There are more art supplies. And Nazev is babbling away. He briefly looks toward your group entering, nods, and continues on in his presentation. As you all find your seats, I imagine.
Yeah.
Just I'm sitting there.
As you all sit down, jostle next to everybody. Nazev mentions, so, now that you know how to make paint, you have to be sure that you use only the finest ingredients. And which brings me to my next point. If you use such wondrous ingredients, such wondrous paint, and create such wondrous still lifes, landscapes, or any depiction at all, art is limitless. You can create something of a wonder yourselves. You see, art is inherently magical. Art has the power to change the way we see the world, awakening us to new perspectives, ideas, and values. He's walking back and forth, keeping everyone's attention. He's got a little paintbrush in his hand. It can take us back in time to reflect on our past, or push us further into our future. Art can bring awareness to social issues, and foster a sense of acceptance. It can bring people together regardless of background. He swashes...
Kayla's falling asleep.
He's like swashes the paintbrush, and there's a vibrant display of some psychedelic color behind the paintbrush for a moment. And if art is inherently magical, this magic in particular comes from an inexhaustible source. Color. From any lush forest to the golden dunes of Khorzaire, to the beautiful blue sky above our heads. Color, my dear students, is a property of light. So one could say that magic is the light within all of us. At first, as you begin on your artistical journey, it may seem only a dim candlelight. But through effort and experience, it glows brighter and bolder with each passing day. So trust the light within you shall illuminate your path, I promise you. It may seem as first though it doesn't grow, but just like every artist knows, he looks at just a random student, locks eyes for a moment, pauses. Practice will be your uplifter. Surely you've heard of an artist creating timeless pieces? I invite you all to embrace the magic and the light within you and travel down this path of art. He nods. There's clapping. A little polite applause. Now then, that's all for today. If you like, you may keep your piece, show it off, tell your friends. If you'd like to enroll in my class, you can do so. The next time we are taking exchanges, and if you'd like to know more about how to create paint, perhaps you arrived after we finished that session and you would like to learn about how to use the ingredients just laying around Khorzaire to create your hues and pigments. You can see me afterwards. He nods and claps his hands together. Their paintbrushes laying on the table. And smiles. More clapping, and now there's shuffling of students going on. People are working their way out. Some other people come up and start messing with paint, grabbing some things, taking buckets with them. You see like a couple people make off with some paintbrushes, all that kind of stuff. It looks like you came in at the very tail end of the lecture.
Mm-hmm.
After spending the majority of the day
Harassing Feather.
harassing Feather.
As people sort of shuffle around, Pastiche is going to stand up, motion towards Twig, and then kind of make their way towards the front.
Xalia's gonna like just stand behind Pastiche. Just like still trying to replicate the devil may care her attitude, but like it's obvious. Sometimes the eye droops, or sometimes like
Aw.
the mouth just disappears.
Right. Okay.
Gets like cleaved back out of her flesh once in a while.
Alright. Andy, you're hard to miss. You have butterflies flying around you and a frog on your head, and your chest is on fire. So Nazeb sees you immediately and smiles, walks up to you with hands clasped together. Greetings, my student. It's nice to see you here. I would wish that you had come in at an earlier time, naturally, but
Yes, Mr. Monaco. I'm so sorry. I was preoccupied and I didn't catch the full lecture. Pastiche will kind of turn to Twig, pull him closer. My friend here was actually interested in learning your arts as well.
is that so? Well, welcome to the wonderful world of art. Have you dabbled in anything before? Are you a painter? Do you prefer pen and pencil?
Well, you see, I'm still pretty new, but ever since I've seen Andy performing his craft, I just fell in love with it. I think I want to be a painter.
A painter, indeed. Painting landscapes putting hair to canvas is quite an amazing feeling, I must say. Have you tried out any of your artistic ability? Have you attempted to paint anything, or is this just merely the beginning of your journey?
Well, maybe something here and there, but nothing any good, I assure you. I'm still at the beginning.
I see. Well, I am taking... Well, are you a student here?
Well,
Do you already study at Zozo Academy?
well, not
And
yet.
he will interrupt. Well, if things go as planned, we won't actually be here for all that long, but I thought it best to introduce him to you while we're here.
You plan to leave soon after. My eyes cry tears. Well, surely, if you aim to be a painter, it would behoove me to not get you a jump start on your way. Here, I happen to have an extra set of painting supplies. I will happily bequeath them upon you. The world needs another artist. He has like a little folder, like a foldable leather bag that has a kind of like rawhide cord strip. He hands it to you, Twig. In there is a set of any brush you can need, flat brush, angle brush, all that kind of thing, and a note on how to produce your own paints. Make sure that you use excellent materials, and it'll only bring out the most vibrant of colors.
This is too much. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to put them to good use.
You surely must have traveled far to attend this lecture, late as you are, but here's your reward. Looks over at Feather when he says the word reward.
Sorry, I was missing that. What did you say?
He says, "Here is your reward," like talking to Twig. But when he says the last word, when he says the word reward, he looks over at Xalia Feather.
Xalia Feather gives his gives her best, like, breathlessly confused look.
Okay.
There is an extension of the brow.
Nazev's gaze lingers on Xalia Feather for a moment before he addresses Andy. Andy, I couldn't help but notice you appear to be in some sorts. He has a big, wide smile.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I had a bit of an incident shortly after my arrival.
I should say so.
I'm sorry to show up this way. Well, as I said, I was preoccupied, and by the time we got back, seems your lecture was almost over. I planned to look for someone to help deal with all of this first.
Well, I appreciate you having the wherewithal to stop by the lecture before it ended. As it happens, I am capable of helping you with that matter. You see, Sorry, I was watching all the butterflies and the frog on your head. It whisked me away. I was momentarily distracted. How did this come about? You said you got into some trouble? What in the world, Andy?
Well, to be frank, I don't fully remember the events that took place. I'm sure we landed in Zozo, and then there's sort of a gap. And then I was like this.
Make a persuasion check. As you're telling this to Nazev, like a student kind of holding a bunch of art supplies comes over and says, "Oh, but bye, Mr. Monaco, I'm going now." He says, "Whoop, great, excellent." Waves at a couple other students that are going off. What are you getting your persuasion? A 6?
6.
All right. He looks at you. His attention's drawn back to you. He's looking at the frog. The frog. In your head, you just hear "help." He's looking at me.
Pastiche's eyes sort of dart upward, as if they can see the frog on top of their own head. They'll reach up, pull it off. It's kind of like gently pat the frog. It's going to be okay.
Shall I restore you to your previous state that I know you to be?
I would appreciate that, yes. If it's not too much trouble.
No trouble at all. He stretches, cracks his knuckles, does like the hand out stretch forward, and then with a gleaming smile, he snaps his fingers. And instantly, the butterflies flop to the ground, then dissipate into little like glitter, and like the frog zaps away in your hands and becomes painting supplies.
Oh,
You've got like a little kind of bargain bin, 7-color like paint cup in your hand.
Uh-huh.
The last thing you hear in your head from the frog is, "What a world." You also feel something change about your magical essence. Like something about your existence is switched. And you feel more like yourself. Where previously you had definitely been feeling a little bit off. A little more whimsical. Like just in your existence. Your energy feels right back aligned. After Nazev snaps his fingers and you are now holding some painting supplies, and then there's paint splatters on the ground. He nods. Well, not always that effect, but I figured since we're in paint class, art class, I figured that would be appropriately theatrical. Wouldn't you say?
Very impressive, Mr. Monaco.
Now then, there's no need to butter me up. It's rudimentary.
Well, I do appreciate your assistance. If you don't mind me asking, I couldn't help but, well, I overheard a conversation from another student outside, you see, and it seems you have a mansion here in Zozo?
Indeed, I do choose to live here in Zozo Academy. It makes my commute that much shorter. Why do you ask?
Well, it's just, your work has done so much to inspire me, and I would love to see it sometime.
That would be amazing.
Make a persuasion check.
Big money.
Saving that up from the last one.
Wow. He would get a natural one. Okay. He looks at you, tilts his head a little bit. Why? That mentions nothing special, just a merely humble abode, but... Sure. What makes you want to see it? I don't often invite students into my home.
Well, I was just, thinking of doing some arrangements of my own, and I thought it would be nice to get some inspiration from someone as high class as yourself.
Now, I know when I'm trying to be, or I know when you're trying to shower me with praise. And by golly, even though I know it sure works. Sure. When would you like to come over? We'll have dinner.
That sounds great. My friends and I actually have prior arrangements tonight, but if you're free tomorrow...
As it happens, he brings a thumb and forefinger to his chest, to his chin. Starts scrubbing his beard. Oh, as it happens, I am quite busy tomorrow. All through the day and evening, I'm afraid. I won't be at home. We could do... I'm afraid my own prior arrangements. How long are you staying in Zozo? It may be some days before I am suitably available, even just for a quick luncheon. He looks over at Xalia Feather.
Sorry, what was he asking me for again?
He's not asking you anything, he's just looking at you.
Xalia just kind of gives him a cold stare back, huh?
Yeah, and Pastiche's eyes just kind of dart around to the rest of the group. Well, when will you be available? I'm sure arrangements can be made.
Perhaps something next week. Will you be in Zozo for long? For a few days?
A few days, certainly.
Excellent. Well, let me wrap things up here, and perhaps we can talk a little longer. It would be unseemly of me to have a desk that was not tidy. And as
yes.
As
Carry
he
on
goes
with your
back
business.
to collect his various accoutrements and begins cleaning up his station, all the students that were part of the lecture have basically now sidled out. So now it's just Makayla asleep on the desk, Chuman reclining in the nosebleed section, and you three there. That is where we will end tonight's session.
Nice.
Just chilling out, listening.